black-red zombie decks, black-red zombies with Birthing Pod versus Kenda Frame playing blue-white Miracles. It's a take on Alexander Haynes' deck, actually.
Apparently, Kendal mulled to 4.
Kendall's deck is super close to Haynes. It just has, Card Liberated, a couple other things, so.
Yeah, actually able to play cards from Standard rather than just block.
Right. So Highborn Ghoul gets in there, dropping Kendall down to a ripe 18 life. Let's see what he finds. Black, red, green zombies, Birthing Pods.
Yeah, I was going to say, there's a green land there. Yeah, I guess for the Birthing Pods.
And down comes the messenger. He'll deliver a message to Kendall, and that message is take 2 damage. So.
Yeah, this is going to be rough for Kendall. I think mulliganing to 4 against an aggressive deck, I mean, he's going to have to hope for a miracle.
Right, but if there's one deck that can come out from it in Standard, it's the Miracle deck, right? You just draw perfectly. If this is a Terminus, for example, right?
Yeah.
All right, it wasn't, but
I mean, it could have been, yeah.
I think Kendall still probably has, a little bit of time. If he hits Terminus on his next turn, or flashes back that Think Twice to hit Terminus on Glen's turn, he'll be in okay shape. If he doesn't see a Terminus there, though, he's probably done for.
Yeah, he's already down to 9.
Yeah. And the zombie deck just hits so fast and so resilient.
And
Metamorph Messenger. Yeah, it is time for a Terminus. If there was ever a Terminus he needs, this would be it.
It needs to be there.
All right,
Not
it wasn't there. All right, if he has a land, he's got one more draw step.
Land, flashback, Think Twice, hope to hit a Terminus.
All right.
Kendall at 7.
All right, Glen's just going to push all his guys into the red zone. There he is, pushing them in.
All right. What do you got? Oh, okay, this is...
Interesting. So he ups for the Snapcaster Mage.
Okay, so he's actually apparently not thinking the Terminus is there. Playing to a different line.
This drops it down to 1. I'm not sure I really like this line because the game's going to go long. Yeah, and A, you can die to any removal spell. B, the game is just going to go really long. It was a Terminus. That was the top
I think it was
guard.
a Terminus as a top.
Oh, that is brutal. So the game's going to go really long, and Glen's going to have an opportunity at some point to just draw Geralt's Messenger, right?
Yeah.
So
wow.
I would have just went for the Terminus. You have to get lucky, but on a mull to 4 against a beatdown deck, you have to get lucky anyway.
Yeah, that was pretty brutal. I mean, we're not even 2.5 minutes into the round.
Man, my grand interest might be cut short. Let's go to sideboards here. So,
all right.
So Kendall's sideboard has Phantasmal Image, Batterskull, Elish Norn, Timely Reinforcements, an extra card liberated to support his 1 main deck, 2 Celestial Purges, a Divine Offering, a Ratchet Bomb, a Volation Range, 2 Negates, Jace Memory Adept, and Torpor Orb. So he's just a lot of one-ofs, a lot of stuff to move around.
And a lot of options here. I mean, Phantasmal Image on a Messenger is great. Batterskull, nice way to mitigate some of that damage.
Those 2 Celestial Purges definitely coming in.
Absolutely,
those cards are huge.
Yeah.
Absolutely huge in this matchup.
Even he's got 2 Timely Reinforcements to just give himself some more time and chump blockers for all those zombies. Now, does Glen have Blood Artist? He does.
Yeah,
okay.
He's got 4 Blood Artists.
That's become a zombie staple, I think, now. And so that will, having chump blockers against a Blood Artist isn't really as good as it would be if he didn't have the Blood Artists, but it's still, it gives the zombie deck so much reach. Right. But I still think the Timely Reinforcements could come in just for the life gain, and the chump blockers can definitely be relevant if there aren't Blood Artists on stable. So there we are.
Okay.
So, I'm Joey Pasco here with Gavin Verhey.
Hey guys.
In the booth for SCG Seattle here.
Yeah, I'm not sure how good those Blood Artists actually are. It's kind of an interesting dance they play because Kendall's main Wrath is Terminus. Now, granted, Glen might not know this. They might think he's like an Esper deck or a Delver deck or something, right? Like all he saw was Think Twice and Snapcaster Mage. So maybe he leaves the Blood Artists in here. But if we go to a game 3, I could definitely see the Artists coming out because their artwork is not so good against Terminus. Now, Kendall's deck, some of the off-block cards that we didn't see in Alexander Haynes' deck, Karn Liberated, Gideon Jura, Day of Judgment, Mana Leak, Ponder,
which is huge.
Yeah, the Ponder is obviously the huge part when you're playing with a bunch of Miracles. The Miracles of note are Temporal Mastery, Entreat the Angels, and Terminus.
Yeah, does he play Devastation Tide? I don't see that one.
Yeah, there are no Devastation Tides. Those were devastating, but apparently only in block constructed. I don't see any here.
I've heard a lot of players, especially the ones who favor like the Athens Blue list, Dan Musser and Chris Cronenberger playing Devastation Tide in Legacy.
Yeah.
So I'm excited that to see that card cracking into that format, and we'll hopefully see some of that tomorrow. Maybe I don't know how much the Seattle scene likes the Athens Blue deck, but I certainly love it, and maybe we'll see that tomorrow. But
Yeah, I was looking through coverage of the Star City Games Open last weekend, I think it was, and in Legacy there was one of those blue decks.
Yeah,
that was playing
I
Devastation
think
Tide.
it may have been Dan Musser, because Musser tends to play that Athens blue list.
I think it was one that got 9th or something like that. It did very well in the Legacy
I think
portion.
Dan may have gotten 9th in Legacy too.
Yes, Seattle has a pretty large Legacy community actually, so it'll be exciting to see what people bring out tomorrow. A lot of people play very stock decks. A lot of people have their own decks that come out of the woodwork, so you're never really sure what you're going to get. All right, so here we are. We're into game 2. Plains leads off for the Miracles player, and Glen has another 1-drop this game.
Is that a Gravecrawler?
It looks like the promo Gravecrawler.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Buy a box.
Nice and shiny.
Yeah.
Terminus very effective against Gravecrawler. I like Kendall's slightly in this matchup, but being behind a game is going to hurt, and the zombie deck is so explosive, especially if it resolves Birthing Pod. All right, another
Gravecrawler number
Gravecrawler.
2, yeah. And Think Twice from Kendal.
All right, so Kendall Think Twice. Now, maybe he's looking for lands here. Often when you think twice early in the game as the Miracle deck, you just have to find your land drops, because normally you want to save your draw spells for your opponent's turn. All right, so there's the timely reinforcements. As Joey was saying, he brought them in.
He's got up to 24 here, and he's going to have some guys to get in the way of those zombies.
Right, now those Gravecrawlers do like to come back for more, so only be able to buy some damage instead of killing off some creatures permanently, but still a good place to be.
Yeah, I mean, Kendall has cast 2. Well, so is Glen. I was going to say he's cast 2 spells. What are you looking for?
Are these guys playing for top 8? Do you know what the status of these guys are?
I'm not quite sure.
I'm pretty sure they're playing for top 8 too. So this is a really intense match for these two players. This tournament was huge, only one player short of being an extra round. So in the last round, everyone has to play.
So Glen gets in or tries to get in with the Gravecrawlers. They each get blocked by some soldiers, and he follows up with Geralf's Messenger. Yep,
and delivers a message once again. But this time Kendall only drops down to the right life total of 20, so he's in pretty good shape. So he is leaving up 4 mana, so he can flash back that Think Twice, potentially at the end of turn, and maybe hit Terminus.
And they are indeed playing for top 8. Just confirmation there.
Yeah, this is exciting. So Perilous Mirror comes down for for Glen. Now that's not a card we always see in the zombie decks, but it's pretty good when you're sacrificing everyone to kill with the Falconwrath Aristocrat. So there comes the Blood Artist. So he did leave them in, and here's the dance. So he's got the token, but he's still getting drained for 1. Flashing back, Think Twice. So there's a little bit of a tell there, and then he flashed it back after he blocked, because that really tells Glen that Kendall might have Terminus in his deck.
Yeah.
And he's not just some random Delver deck, although the cat might be out of the bag on that one. I don't know how well acquainted these players are.
Right, they also may have been sitting near each other a lot all day, and I think you happen to notice what other people around you are playing.
There's a classy Mirage Island to join all those new frame ones. All right, and there's Batterskull, so it's time to batter up Glen.
Well, does Glen even have good answers to Batterskull? Typically Black does not.
Right, so he's got some Go for the Throats and some Tragic Slips, but Tragic Slip might be hard to get online. Go for the Throat will do the trick because it's a black token, not an artifact.
Right.
But he certainly doesn't have a ton of good options. I mean, if he Miracles a Bonfire, he could get it that way, but
he's gonna copy a Batterskull with Phyrexian Metamorph.
All right, well that's an interesting way to do it. Now I think that play is overall good for Kendall, just because it will still buy him time. He'll gain some life, and he can't attack this turn really profitably. But that certainly wasn't a bad play by Glen.
Yeah, it's sort of like if I can't beat it, I'll join it. Like
right.
I can't beat the Batterskull. I'll just make one of my own.
That's the motto of Phyrexian Metamorph.
Yeah.
So this game's starting to look a little good for Glendale here. Or, sorry.
Glendale,
Glendale.
That's the combination.
Well, I figured it out. It's definitely looking good for one of the two. For Kendall, excuse me. If Kendall has a Terminus, I feel like he almost just puts the game away. I mean, he's got a grip of cards, and Glen doesn't have a ton of options. On the flip side, if Glen just draws Birthing Pod, Kendall could be in a rough world.
And looks like a moving Batterskull here.
Oh, interesting. So he moves it over to the Blood Artist. All right, so he drains Kendall for 1 off the Germ token, so that's a neat little synergy there.
Yeah.
Playing with Phyrexian Metamorph is always so interesting, because you have to know how all of your opponent's cards work. You can't just be, how well do I know my own deck? What tricks can I use with my opponent's cards?
Yeah, we saw some interesting Metamorph interactions earlier, Jared and I doing commentary, where somebody, Phantasmal Image copied a Strangleroot Geist, and then the Geist died and eventually died again, and Metamorph copied the Phantasmal Image, so we're like looking at it as there's 2 Strangleroot Geists, but but it was actually a copy of Phantasmal Image also. So when he tried to equip it with a sword,
oh no,
totally just killed his own guy.
That's really interesting. All right, so Kendall's Germ Token dies. He'll drain for another point.
But gained some life there.
Right. And now would be a good time for Kendall to find a Terminus. He might already have one in his hand. I can't see his hand, but he might just be searching for that second white mana.
Right. Yeah.
So he's going to flash back that thing twice again, probably looking for a second white, if not a Terminus. Pretty sure he's looking for the second white.
And Kendall's drawn a lot of cards.
Yeah.
I mean, 4 just off of Think Twice.
Now the thing is, he's still good to take a couple turns of beats too if he needs to.
He's actually okay. I mean, and he could always just there's a second white.
Right.
And,
and there's the Terminus.
Okay, so he's in real good shape.
Yeah, I see a bunch of good cards in his hand. He's got Ponder, all the gas he needs.
I mean, he can, even if he didn't have the Terminus, he can go ahead and pass the turn, return the Batter Skull and replay it if he wants. If he were in that sort of situation where he needed to get a blocker down.
Right. All right, so yeah, so there's the Terminus.
But yeah.
Now, if I were Kendall, I might cast that Ponder here. But, okay, yeah, so I'm going to cast Ponder. I would have probably pondered before Terminus, just so you have more information. Mm-hmm. For example, you could set a Terminus up on the top of your library, and then, use a Think Twice if he has one in his hand.
Right, yeah, just for the extra information. I get what you're saying.
Yeah, but, still, really good position for Kendall right now. Now, Glen still has his quote-unquote Batter Skull, so we could return that and copy the Batter Skull again, which is interesting. Gravecrawler comes back, so Glen established another army. Kendall's going to be looking for another Terminus.
Wow, so pretty unreal recovery from a Terminus.
Yeah, well, those Gravecrawlers dying, Kendall's...
actually made it worse, yeah.
Yeah, Kendall's Townly Reinforcements actually worked against him a little bit there, because leaving those Gravecrawlers on the battlefield, I mean, a Gravecrawler in the yard is worth 2 in the bush, I guess, as it were. So let's see what happens now.
All right, so Glen recovers with Digraph Ghoul, 2 Gravecrawlers, and he does still have that Batter Skull. Kendall untaps his 8 lands and Batter Skull in play.
And I see a Temporal Manipulation in his hands.
Temporal Mastery?
Temporal Mastery. The other one's like, what, Time Walk from Portal or something like that?
something like that.
Time Warp from Portal, I think.
Right. It does sound like... Yeah, they all sound very similar since they do similar things.
Something with time and turns.
Manipulation.
Manipulating it or mastering it in some fashion.
Yeah, Time Warp from Portal.
Yeah. All right, so Glen equips his makeshift Batter Skull and gets in with Digraph Ghoul, but Celestial Purge will take that right out of the picture. And he's just going to be taking 4 off from those Gravecrawlers. Now, I don't know exactly what's in Kendall's hand. I might have actually purged away one of the Gravecrawlers.
Yeah.
You take a little more, but those Gravecrawlers might be more difficult for you to deal with in the long term, especially if you're planning on using a Day of Judgment or something to recover.
Yeah, I mean, he could have had, there's the potential for Purge, Snapcaster Purge, and deal with both of those Gravecrawlers.
So
we know he plays 2 Snapcasters, so.
Looks like Kendall meant to return his Batter Skull there, but forgot, wasn't able to. Okay, so Temporal Manipulation. He'll take another turn. Or sorry, Temporal Mastery.
Yeah.
Taking another turn. Draw a card. The old 7 mana, draw a card for free.
Yeah, and just a Ghost Quarter added to Kendall's side now. Wish I could see Kendall's hand. I did see a mana leak in there somewhere, but I feel like that's actually pretty weak. So
Kendall has plenty enough mana now to bounce the Batter Skull and rebuy. So he's got the Batter Skull ready to block, and Glen can equip up his zombies, making it bigger, but Kendall's still gaining 4 life at every opportunity.
Yeah, Kendall right now at 19 life. Like all the work that Glen is trying to do, and Kendall is at 19 life.
Right. Yeah, so Glen serves in with his Gravecrawler, and I think Kendall, he'll just happily block, gain 4 life, not take any damage.
Yeah.
And Glen's life total is also spiraling upward, but an Entreat the Angels at this point would be enough to kill him in 1 hit. So.
Yeah. It's not so scary when you've got, infinite 4/4s.
Okay, so Kendall mana leaks a Digraph Ghoul. He's obviously just wants to make sure no pressure gets on the board. I don't know if I would have mana leak that there, but I guess at this point in the game, you've got to kind of take what you can get.
Yeah, the mana, he's trying to get some value out of the mana leak, and there it was an opportunity to actually have it not be a dead card.
All right, so I think that's Temporal Manipulation right there.
Yeah, so he's setting it up so he can miracle a Temporal
I see an Island of
Mastery.
Manipulation. I might just shuffle those away. If I didn't see what the 3rd card was, but it didn't look very exciting.
And maybe just land, Mastery, land.
Now, what he might not know about Glen's deck is Glen has 2 Falconwrath Aristocrats, and those will be a big issue if they land, because equipping Batterskull to that means he can't block with, Kendal can't block with his Batterskull. So, looks like Kendal keeps with the Ponder, and then he's going to recast Batterskull.
Replay Batterskull. Play a land, say go.
Kendall's certainly hitting all of his land drops, a little flooded, but that Miracle deck also wants access to as many lands as possible, too. I mean, when you entreat, you just want to treat your opponent to a whole flight of angels.
Whole slew of angels, yeah.
So the board state, 2 Grave Crawlers, and also Phyrexian Metamorph copying a Batterskull on one of them. Kendal has a lone Batterskull with a Germ token.
And this time he's going to block the naked Grave Crawler with his Batterskull and Germ.
All right.
And Glen, so he's just going to negate the damage, negate 4 of the damage from Glen's Batterskull to Grave Crawler.
So Kendal ends up down 1 life. No big deal. Or down 2 life, rather.
Yeah, okay. I was wondering, I was trying to figure out why it was 1, but yeah.
So Glen's got 3 Grave Crawlers now. 3rd one joins the fray. But still, a Terminus puts him in really good shape.
Temporal Mastery.
He might just be entreating the Angels right here, too, if he's got one in his hand for lethal.
Oh, wow, yeah, he could entreat.
Or I guess not for lethal, but, for like 2 Angels or so.
More than Glen can probably handle.
So the extra turn means he can get in with that Batterskull, and Glen's going to be taking some damage. Kendal will be gaining some life. Is that another Ghost Quarter?
I think so.
Yep.
What are his...
Yeah, they've got to be Ghost Quarters.
Yeah, that's the only thing that would look like that.
I was going to say, Moorland Haunt does not seem very good in this deck. So.
Not at all. I've got 2 Snapcaster Mages that could die.
Right. For one second, I thought it was Haunted Fengraf, but I was like, there's just no way.
Okay, so this is his mastery turn.
All right.
So he did not have the entreat, and we knew that he, I think, had a land there, so it was not a miracle.
Yeah. I'm always. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say he is just hitting. He's so flooded.
Yeah, I'm always so aggressive with my Ponders. If what I want isn't there, I'll just shuffle it away.
Yeah.
I think I would have definitely shuffled with that last Ponder. All right, so Messenger comes down. He's going to nug Kendal for 2 life, but 27 life. Even though Kendal is bricking on most of his draw steps, so that gets dissipated. Even though he's bricking on most of his draw steps, he just has so much time available to him right now.
Yeah, and that's all the Miracle deck wants, because it's inevitable that there are going to be Miracles on top.
Right, yeah, I mean, as soon as he finds an entreat, the game will just be locked up. And he's got 4 of them still hiding in his deck somewhere, assuming he didn't sideboard any out.
Yeah, and assuming there's not any in his hand, which I think is a pretty safe bet, because I think he would have cast it, and then before taking his additional turn from Mastery.
Right. So, looks like Glen puts the Batterskull in front of a Gravecrawler, ends up down 2 more life, but this is not a race. Or, sorry, Kendal puts the Batterskull in front of the Gravecrawler, but this is not a race that Glen is very happy to play. All right, so he's going to replay the Gravecrawler out of the graveyard. All right, and there's a Tragic Slip on the Germ token, so Kendal might have to spend some time playing his Batterskull again, but he'll happily return it right here.
He's only got like 15 lands in mind.
Right. Wow, he's Ghost Quartering himself to spin out his deck.
Yeah, and it's interesting he's doing that now when he could have done the shuffle kind of effect before. He knew that he was drawing another land on top.
Right. Yeah, I would have done that. I mean, I assume he drew that land, and I would have done it before he drew that land, but it seems like Kendal knows the trick. So there might have been something that wasn't a land in his top 3 cards. That's certainly possible. All right, so he draws. Still no Miracle, the forthcoming. It's Ponder. That is a good card right here.
Yeah. Ooh,
I think Timely Reinforcements, Temporal Manipulation.
Is that Torpor Orb? I believe it's a Torpor.
Torpor Orb. Interesting.
Yeah, I guess just for the.
So he's got 1 Torpor Orb in the sideboard. Actually, that looks like just one of Elesh Norn too. That would really deal some damage. Yeah, there it is.
Exactly. And he's just going to hard cast it.
All right, Elesh Norn, do your worst, Glen Ray. Even worst case, that'll still take care of 2 of those Gravecrawlers, meaning he doesn't have to worry about them at all next turn. And Glen will have to recast them. Granted,
So he's going with Batterskull here.
He just puts down the Batterskull.
I mean, Batterskull's been doing such a good job for him the whole game.
Right.
I guess he can decide, I'll wait until I can. I'll play the Elish Norn again, and then maybe get in for 6 with the Batter Skull.
Yeah, sure, and get rid of any blockers too.
Yeah.
I guess the Gravecrawler can't block actually, so never mind.
Right.
But not so good with cards after I started working at Wizards. All right, so
it's all that Kaijudo you've been practicing.
Yeah, got to be a Kaiju master. So Kendal will take 2 more here, but slowly but surely. All right, Gravecrawler again, and then a Diagraph Ghoul. Glen was sitting on just a Dragon Skull Summon in his hand, so Kendall's got all the time. It's really just inevitability at this point. Temporal Manipulation, and then tap as much. Oh, I see what he's doing here. So he set up the Temporal Mastery so that he could play Elish Norn and take an extra turn. So that'll kill off Glen's stuff.
All right, he's going to get in with the Batter Skull for 6.
Get in for 6, and then he'll take another turn and get in for 10. Now, granted, Glen is still at like 35 life or something.
I'm trying to knock you back to 20.
Both players desperately trying to knock the other player below 20 life. All right, so Kendal draws his card.
It's a Mana Leak. And in for 10.
All right. Drops Glen down to 25 life.
Is this the first time Glen's life total has been less than Kendall's?
Yeah, that's funny. Kendall's sitting at 27, Glen's sitting at 25.
It's amazing. Game 1 happened in less than 2.5 minutes. Game 2 has, well, including sideboarding, has now been, 19 minutes or 18 minutes?
And that just kind of goes to show you in this matchup, like how kind of deterministic it can be. The zombie deck can get out to a fast start, take control of the game. Kendal can set up a board position where he can buy time, and then it's so inevitable. I mean, Glen is going through the motions here, but honestly, if I was Glen, I mean, I guess I probably wouldn't concede, but in a couple turns, if the game is still going on, I might just concede because you want to make sure you have enough time for that third game.
Absolutely.
There's still 25 minutes on the clock, but.
So go for the throat deals with Elish Norn, and Kendall's probably fine with that. It did kind of a lot of damage, even though Glen's at 25.
I guess if Glen draws Aristocrat, he's in pretty good position. There's some cards you can draw.
Yeah, I mean, there's some cards Kendall can draw too.
Yeah.
I just can't believe he hasn't seen them yet. How many extra cards has he drawn? He drew, 4 off of Think Twice, and at least 3 more off of Masteries, if you count those as extra cards.
Right.
Also, he's pondered at least a couple of times, right?
Yep.
I mean, where are those Entreat the Angels?
Even shuffle those Library with Ghost Quarter off one of those ponders, right? So, all right, there's a Gravecrawler. And all right, more Gravecrawlers. We have a whole quadruple team out now.
A horde of Gravecrawlers.
Same thing happens. Both players gain some life. Okay. Kendal waiting in the wings, just trying to find that Entreat the Angels.
All right, returns Batter Skull.
All right, still no Entreat the Angels.
Still no Entreat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, Batter Skull. Surprise. Play a Seachrome Coast, pass back.
All right, Germ Token on the Batter Skull. And it's a Bonfire.
So the guy that finds the miracle is the non-miracle deck.
So Glen finds one of his 2 Bonfires.
He's got to play around Mana Leak here. Right? Is he not gonna play around Mana Leak?
I just do it for Max.
You
gotta kill that Batter Skull.
Mana Leak.
Mana Leak. But it's funny, Glen probably brought in the Bonfires thinking that Kendal was playing Blue-White Delver.
Yeah, or something along those lines, right? Esper mid-range or something like that.
Because Bonfire's not really the card you want in this matchup.
It's basically just Fireball.
Okay, so once again, life total exchange happens. Some Gravecrawler goes to the graveyard. Glen gains some life. Kendal gains some life. It's like Oprah for life points. Everyone gets some life. And we have Kendal sitting on 29, Glen sitting on 39. This game is going crazy.
Attention players.
Kendal still no Entreat the Angels. Yeah, I imagine I could see boarding one of them out, but I would still have 3 in my deck. So.
Yeah, I mean that's your primary win condition.
Please raise your hand and have a judge come collect it.
All right, Glen draws his card.
For a black leather binder.
All right, in comes the 3 Gravecrawlers. Kendal blocks 1. Some more life exchange happens.
Yeah, I mean, it's not even that relevant to talk about what the life exchange is at this point. It's just like it just keeps happening every turn. Both players above 30 life right now.
Yeah, I think basically what both players are looking for is, Kendall's looking for is Entreat the Angels.
Yeah.
And Glen is looking for a sequence of plays probably with Birthing Pod and Falcon Wrath Aristocrat. That's how I can see him getting into this game. Especially if he manages to assemble Blood Artist Aristocrat at this point. He can just drain him. And, you know, if Kendall continues to not draw anything relevant, he can just drain him out over a couple turns.
Yeah, it's kind of scary at this point. Okay, Kendall.
All right, there's Snapcaster Mage. Was that just a 4-value Snapcaster?
Yeah, that's interesting. I guess does he just not have... I mean, if he wanted, couldn't he have just Terminus there? Snapcaster Terminus? He did play Terminus earlier, right? He has 1,000,000 mana.
I'm not sure what I missed. I don't understand. Oh, you know what? Doesn't have any come into play effects.
Oh,
Torpor
you're
Orb
right.
is on the board.
Torpor Orb, actually.
I forgot about the one Torpor Orb hanging down there.
Chilling, right.
All it's done this game so far is make sure Kendall can't use the Snapcaster. Interesting.
This is so weird. It's actually a miracle that Kendall has not seen an Entreat the Angels.
Yeah, it's a miracle that he hasn't seen a miracle.
Yeah.
All right. So once again, the attack happens. I feel like we could have just played this turn on rewind on the coverage for about the past 5 minutes or 10 minutes, and it would have been fine.
Absolutely. I mean, there's a Snapcaster chilling there now.
Right.
I mean, is it going to just die to Doomblade now? Is that
worse than Ambush Viper?
Actually is.
Yeah, I bet Kendall's like, man, I wish that guy had Death Touch right now. All right. So, you know, some more attacking. So at this point, I mean, you got to be thinking potentially about what might happen in Game 3. And we're going to see Glen re-sideboard, probably take out those bonfires, bring in some other things that are more effective against a Miracle-style deck. So that should be interesting.
I mean, I'm worried if I'm Kendall. Obviously, Kendall doesn't know exactly what Glen has, but like you said, the going into the Glen can get back into the game all this time that he's just drawing dead. Yeah, Glen could draw live.
Yeah, I mean, I think the only way Glen can win is if he draws Falcon Wrath Aristocrat and
Birthing Pod, Blood Artist, some sort of shenanigans there.
But I mean, it's certainly not impossible. But man, the odds are not in his favor. Because if Kendall just, you know, that'll take several turns, and if Kendall just finds an Entreat, the game will be over. So I mean, unless Kendall sideboarded out multiple Entreats.
Which then I'm wondering what he thinks is, you know, what his win condition was.
Yeah, well, I mean, I could definitely see sideboarding out one. In fact, I'd probably sideboard one out. I could maybe see sideboarding out two, just because you want to be able to survive. But I mean, I can't imagine sideboarding out more than that.
Yeah.
Especially, I mean, if you're bringing in Elishnorn and Batterskull, and you know maybe a Karn or something, you have room to sideboard out Entreats. But Entreat is pretty good against zombies. You can just get like a 4/4 early on.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna just brick wall them with just a, you know, a 4/4.
Clock timer ticking down, 22 minutes. But they're in game 2, so comfortable. I don't think either player should concede yet, but
it has now been over 25 minutes since game 1 ended.
Right. Another Plains by Kendall. He's got quite the mana going on here.
3, 4, 5, 6. There are 14 lands on the board.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. In good shape.
Unreal.
All right, another bonfire.
Glen has now seen 2 of his miracles.
Yeah.
I mean, how many miracles, how many bonfires does he have?
Just 2.
Only 2. He's seen 100% of his miracles.
Glen's seen 100% of his miracles. Kendall has not seen any Entreats. All right, so once again, Mana Leak comes down.
Runs right into the Mana Leak again.
Yeah. Well, Glen can pay for it this time, which he does.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize. I thought he had tapped out.
No. Yeah, Glen pays for
Actually
it. But
played around it, okay.
But that means he can't recast one of his Grave Crawlers this turn. About the best use Mana Leak's going to have. Now, Kendall's empty-handed, so now would really be a good time for a miracle. Still no miracle, but he rebuys the Batterskull. We'll bring the Batterskull back down. So he finds Ghost Quarter. I might have
used the Ghost
Quarter? Is it crazy just to Ghost Quarter yourself right now?
No, because at this point you just stop drawing lands.
I mean, keeping Ghost Quarter means that you can like do some things with Ponder, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could save up for a post-ponder shuffle kind of thing.
I guess you can always do it in your upkeep if you need to. But all right, so Kendal down to 15 now. He has been taking some damage.
Yeah, I mean, wow, under 20.
Sitting under 20. Kendal dropping down to 11 now. But, I mean, all right, so Kendal ghost quarters himself. Kendal at 11, Glen at 53.
53.
Sitting on Doomblade and Swamp.
I mean, I really want to see Kendal win this because I want to see another game.
Yeah, this actually looks really interesting. Oh, wait. All right,
oh,
Seachrome Coast.
Seachrome Coast. Ah.
All right, so gets in with the Batter Skull. We'll gain 4 life, go up to 15. Glen gripping a Doomblade, which is no good against the Germ token. All right, so Glen finds a swamp, gets in. Kendal gonna do some blocking. He just has so much mana now. He can block. I'm kind of interested in that he's not blocking the one with Batter Skull on, or the fake Batter Skull on it.
Yeah, at this point.
Because he gets enough mana to, all right, Temporal Mastery will take some extra time, gain some extra life. Because if you block the one with the Batter Skull, he's got 8 extra mana every turn. Like 8 extra mana is nothing to him.
Yeah, he's doing nothing with it. Yeah, it's all just fallow mana.
And another Glacial Fortress. So Kendal will gain 8 life over that course of 2 turns and pass back. And yeah, I would really, maybe he figures out that he has to start blocking the Gravecrawler with the Batter Skull on it. All right. Glen draws, I think just another swamp. Attack. Oh, Glen's
again, not
the block there,
I'm
but
surprised.
But he's just taking more damage than he needs to take. Because if he blocks one that has the Batter Skull on it,
he takes
only
6
taking
games 4, right? Yeah.
He's only taking 2 a turn.
Yeah.
And 8 mana is nothing. And if he draws Entreat, he's going to tap out for it, maybe. Or maybe not, but I mean, at that point, you're going to have all the angels and you're going to be in fine condition.
Yeah.
Glen looks through Kendal's graveyard.
I mean, Kendall's getting to the point where there's like 4 cards left in his library and they're all Entreat.
Yeah, this is crazy.
I mean, obviously, I'm kidding, but it's just
all right, so he draws a card. Another Glacial Fortress.
Unbelievable.
That's insane. This is just the opposite of a miracle. if there's ever a more ironic thing, it's the Miracle deck not drawing live ever. You know, I just can't find anything. All right, so Glen taps some of his...
Kendal has cast 4 Temporal Mastery.
All right, so there's a Birthing Pod. Now, that's a big deal. Also, like, he hasn't found a Terminus, right?
He had that one in the beginning.
One early on, but that was it. So Glen plays Geralt's Messenger, sacks it. Here comes the Aristocrat.
Now, it's not doing anything when it comes into play.
Right.
Because of the Torpor Orb.
Right. Maybe this is just all engineering on game state so that when Kendal draws a Miracle, it's actually exciting. You know, like when he draws a Terminus this turn, the crowd will just go nuts. All right, so if
he draws another Glacial Fortress, I'll go nuts. I mean, he's got 4 there. I mean, the potential. I think he may have more chance. The way this is going, he's more likely to draw a 5th Glacial Fortress than the first Entreat.
All right, so Kendal takes a bunch of damage. Now would be a really good time to find an Entreat the Angels or Terminus. He's got, you know, probably between 5 and 7 live draws. I'm sure he's just...
Return Batter Skull.
Yeah, returns Batter Skull.
Right,
draws card. Puts it into his hand. It's not a miracle. Is this it? I
mean, what has he got?
He can put the Batter Skull onto that Falconwrath Aristocrat. This might be game if that's nothing. My mind is officially blown.
I need the.
Oh, okay. Think twice. Okay.
Oh, it's a miracle. Thank God.
Yeah, seriously. Although, like, that was kind of just for dramatic effect. I kind of feel like he should have cast the Think Twice on his own turn. But
I mean, I don't care. He just hit a freaking Terminus.
Now he's just gonna find a treat here. Like I said, he's just setting up so it'd be dramatic, right? He's like, I have to make it look close.
Unbelievable.
It's no fun if I don't make it look close. All right, so he rebuys the Metamorph, recasts it. Now it's a Batter Skull. And Kendal will return his Batter Skull in response, meaning that Metamorph comes into play and will have to copy Birthing Pod or Torpor Orb.
Right. Wow, that was a nice play by Kendal.
So, all right, so yeah, Glen probably will copy Birthing Pod but he's got 53 life, so
32 minutes since game 1 ended.
yeah. Now Kendall's gonna have a rough time in the third game, winning in time actually.
I don't know. He'll just do like a turn 5 entreat, miracle entreat or something.
All right, still no entreat the Angels.
Well, not entreat. Did he did?
Okay, Tameo. All right, we're finally getting somewhere with the Planeswalker.
With non-lands.
Yeah, with cards that don't tap for mana. Okay, Ponder.
1, 2, 3. Ooh,
and
be careful.
Kendall playing really quickly now, just because he wants to make sure he can wrap up the game. There's a Gideon Jura.
He's gonna cast it.
Yeah. Okay, now I think he's in such good shape right now. He's got Tameo, he's got Gideon Jura, he's got that Batter Skull. Now it's just a matter of time, but he needs to wrap up the game quickly. There's 53 life to chew through, right? So an entreat would be really helpful in ending the game in short order. All right, so Glen draws a Blood Artist. Passes the turn. All right, Kendall
knows what's on top from the Ponder.
Right. Oh, so instead of attacking, Kendall just decides to off the Blood Artist, which I guess is the safe play.
So he goes and taps and kills it with Gideon.
But,
yeah.
I mean, yeah, I guess that's a safe play. You don't want him to like Birthing Pod into Aristocrat or something and Gravecrawler you out. Or I guess all the Gravecrawlers are on the bottom of his deck though, so it's going to be, I don't know. All right. So Kendall slowly chewing through Glen's life. 14 minutes left in the round.
Was that a check for a miracle kind of thing on Glen's side?
13, under 14 minutes, around 13:50. 1, 2. All right, here's another Blood Artist.
Number 2. Now he can Birthing Pod here if he wants to.
Right, he can pod into Aristocrat, which is kind of interesting. But the Aristocrat will just be tapped down by the Tameo. All right, so yeah, looks like he's cracking away the Blood Artist with a Birthing Pod.
So that's a little drain there. Not that I don't think it's going to be significant at all.
Yeah, Nuggy for 1. All right, and yeah, there's the Messenger, and then the Messenger will turn into a
Aristocrat, presumably.
Into an Aristocrat.
What else does he have? I mean, he could get Metamorph. Copy Batter Skull again. I mean,
yeah, but
Kendall is wise to that plan already.
Yeah,
figured out he has all that mana to do that, to just return it. So he does have 1 copy of Phyrexian Obliterator main. I don't know if that's.
All right, there's the Aristocrat.
And he's got 2 Obliterators sideboard. Now I don't think he necessarily brought those in, but I wonder if he.
All right.
Pods up to. I wonder if he pods up to his Zealous Conscripts if he kept it. I don't know that is. I mean, he can potentially.
He could like steal Gideon or something.
Yeah, but he can't attack with Gideon. You know, like stealing Gideon, he can't like steal. Oh yeah, he could steal an attack. Right? Yeah.
The sick play is stealing Tameo and then ultimating her. She's like, let Kendall take it up for 2 more turns. And then you're like, bam, ultimate Tameo.
Looks like Kendall decided he wants to draw some cards. Or did Tameo just take some damage?
No, the Aristocrat attacked Tameo.
Oh, that's what it was. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought I missed something.
Yeah, the Aristocrat attacked Tameo.
Now he still wants to.
Now he's going to draw a bunch of cards. He's just looking for that intrigue.
Yeah, he's like, I don't care if it's a miracle anymore. It's just got to be in my deck.
It's still not there. He draws a Plains and another Tameo, or he already had the Tameo, so whatever. You can play that out. You can draw more cards, I guess. This is absurd.
He's got to think twice in his hand. So
just.
Is he just no? Okay, so he's Gideon says, "Come at me, bro." Tameo taps down the Aristocrat.
If aliens walked in this room right now, that might be less absurd than what's happening on camera with the Treat the Angels. I mean, unless Kendall just sideboarded them all out, but I just don't think that's the case. I can't imagine doing that.
I mean, if he did, was it an accident? Because it seems like he's clearly digging for the entreat.
Right. I mean,
did he forget that he sided them out?
I could see boarding down to 2, but seriously, man.
This is pretty unbelievable.
All right, and the clock is ticking down so low. It is going to be rough for Kendall. I think Kendall will likely win this game.
Yeah.
But I think it'll be rough for him to win the 3rd game in time, and these players can't afford to draw at this point.
There's so many things that are just kind of crazy variance in this game. in this match, and they're just kind of unbelievable. The fact that Game 1 ended in less than 2.5 minutes, and Game 2 has been going on since.
Yeah, seriously.
And
I'm glad I came back for this match. This is a good match to re-enter the booth for.
Absolutely.
All right, so board state, Batterskull with the Germ Token, Tamio and Gideon versus Diagraph Ghoul, Gerald's Messenger, and 2 Birthing Pods. Falcon Wrath Aristocrat just got Celestial Purged. Kendal drawing off Think Twice.
He is having trouble lifting all those lands.
All right, plays a Snapcaster Mage. Torpor Orb is in play, so that Snapcaster Mage doesn't do anything besides be a bad Ambush Viper. Still no Entreat the Angels.
Another Gideon. Not really helpful. Kendal at 15, Glen at 45, if those life totals are correct. Gideon taking the brunt of the damage from last turn. But
we are now officially below 10 minutes.
Kendal just trying to figure out. Okay, so he just killed that with the Gideon? Was that what that was?
Yep.
Killed the
Gideon.
Okay, so it was.
Yeah, Gideon performed his finishing move.
Yeah.
All right.
Glen looks at his top card. Yeah, that's stays tapped, I think, from the Tamio.
Yep.
That Ghoul, Diagraph Ghoul. So
right.
and now here comes another Geralf's Messenger.
Another Messenger. No meshes delivered because of the Torpor Orb.
Yeah. It must be a national holiday or something,
Right. Gira was just like, you know what? no messages today. We're safe. All right.
How many Think Twices has Kendal gone through? I think all 4.
He's thought so many times.
Yeah, he's thought at least 8 times.
All right, now we are officially below 9 minutes left in the round clock. This is absurd. If this game ended right now, they'd probably start with 5 minutes left to play. All right,
okay,
so
he is throwing away the Gideon to
kill his own Snapcaster Mage. Okay.
Wow, that was. I'm not sure.
Timely reinforcements.
Oh, yeah, he wants to do timely reinforcements.
Sure. You know what's awesome? 6 life and 3 guys.
And he can just replay Gideon and still have about 11 mana untapped.
And there's the Gideon.
Where did that Batterskull go? Is it in his hand? Oh no, there's the Germ. Sorry, I'm like looking for Batterskull. I totally didn't see Germ.
Right, there's the Germ with Batterskull under it. All right. I mean, Kendal just needs to play as fast as possible. It's really important that he play as fast as possible if he wants to be able to win the next game.
He seems to be playing pretty fast.
Yeah, Glen is,
I mean, Glen's going about average pace. Yeah.
They're both playing at reasonable pace, but the thing is, both of these players need to play a third game. These guys are playing for top 8. If you're just tuning in, these guys are playing for top 8. All right, there's Manic Vandal, and it's going to hit the Batterskull unless Kendal returns it.
Yeah, now
Glen's
actually,
Torpor Orb means it's not
going
to happen.
Yeah, I mean, I would just. Yeah, that's right. Torpor Orb stops it from even happening. That's really,
Manic Vandal, that's
really
one
bad.
artifact it can't hit. Yeah, it's Grey Ogre just entered the battlefield, ladies and gentlemen. The old 3-mana 2/2. So
Manic Vandal comes in and just has a change of heart.
So anyway,
I'm not going to kill anything.
These guys are playing for top 8s. A draw will not do it. So they have to win. They're going to go into game 3, assuming that we get
Terminus off the top.
All right, sure, Terminus. Get everything, and then Gideon can bash in for some damage.
That's the 3rd Terminus of the game. If Kendal plays 10 Miracles in his deck, he's now seen 7 of them, and that's if he went down to 2 Entreats.
Right.
He's seen 4 Temporal Mastery, 3 Terminus.
All right, so Doomblade follows on Gideon there, knocking him out of the picture.
Kendal trying to figure out, is there a way I can protect the Gideon?
Nope.
I guess not.
Gideon
Okay.
goes away. Yep. Now below 7 minutes in the round. This is madness. All right. Taps down a Birthing Pod with the Tamio. Replays Batterskull using some of his bajillion mana.
And still has, he can still Cryptic Command, I think.
I mean, he's done everything. He's Ghost Quartered himself twice this game. He's just draws a mana leak.
What?
All right, so he attacks for 4. I mean, he can ultimate Tamio at this point, I guess. Like, that's probably what you want to do, so you can mana leak a bunch of times. But I would
infinite mana.
Kendal, I would not be looking through your graveyard right now. All right, gets in for 4.
The tension here, this is just unbelievable.
This game has been pretty absurd. Oh man. Where is it? Those angels are just not forthcoming.
There's a Blood Artist.
This is an alternate universe where Gristlebrand won. All right. Wait, what just happened?
Did Kendal just decide to scoop, or what?
I'm so confused right now.
I'm really confused. Can we get a... Yeah, we're going to find out what happened.
Did he just side out all of his Entreat the Angels?
I mean, is there any explanation for...
Why would you sign out all... I don't understand why you would sideboard out all of your Entreat the Angels. He got decked, there were no Entreats. That's insane.
So that was very anticlimactic.
I feel like I just got juked.
I
feel like I sat here watching a game for 35 minutes.
That was... Now I bet you change your mind about that whole, I'm glad I came back for this match, because I think we just got trolled.
Yeah, I think we just got trolled hardcore. What? Oh man, he sideboarded out all of his Entreats. That's insane.
Did he ever? He must not. He must have sided